I just don't think there's a good flow through the game where people get like gently get pushed into a certain direction where you want them. It's like
Yeah.
it feels like a bit messy. Like there's execution mode now, and there's some public, some objective mode, and there's
Yeah,
some
but that's
matchmaking.
exactly what Oxy means with the 5v5 public,
Either
where
well,
if you make everything the same but only have degrees in how important it is in that sense, like
yeah,
if public would be 5v5 with a 1-merc roll, and that's what you get in your face when you start playing the game, you know where it's going to go to. But now, especially now after this patch when they added the quick join thing, like you can't even do stopwatch from when you start playing the game in the quick join thing.
well, I could change the
They're
quick join.
basically already removing the importance of stopwatch because that's the competitive format now. And that's again another thing where we might want stopwatch, but
Yeah, actually, it's true.
splash damage might want execution as the main
execution mode
competitive mode.
execution mode is at the top, and then says stopwatch at the bottom, while finding
Yeah.
competitive matchmaking stopwatch is in a separate tab.
I think it's a bit problematic.
When you're
with
level
that.
1, when you literally just install the game, you can't quick join for stopwatch.
You're learning execution first, then you go to objective
They
mode, and then
they
you to
present
stopwatch mode.
maybe it's not intentional, but the way it's presented to new players looks like the execution is the main game mode because that's
Yeah.
the most accessible to you. Which to me feels really weird if stopwatch is your most played thing, or at least your competitive thing. But that's again the question of where does splash damage want the game to go? Like if they want execution to be their main competitive mode, then it's fine, I guess. But then I think you're gonna lose a big part of your crowd. Because I think the people who like games like Dirty Bomb, ET, Team Fortress, they play this because it's the different game mode, because it's not round based, because of that objective team play.
Well,
But that's what I mean. But it just feels kind of silly.
stopwatch is a really hard game for noobs. Played so many games. I don't think that's.
Well, I think it's true in the sense that
It is
just rolling the game mode on its own is harder to understand. That's why spectating CS is a lot easier when you're new than spectating ET when you're completely new. It's the same way.
Yeah.
But I feel like it feels weird to. Oh, Fluffy just said we don't want execution to be competitive mode.
well.
But that's good to hear.
It should be.
But that makes it even more confusing in a sense.
Yeah, it should be more clear in the game then when you actually do it.
I understand what they mean with the patch notes. Like, execution is more accessible to most of the casual players. Like most people a game gets introduced to, that will feel a lot easier because it's round based. It doesn't feel as important than stopwatch does. I totally get the idea. I just think it feels kind of weird that it's presented as the first game mode you can really play
It's a completely separate.
when you're new to the game.
It's a completely separate something, but someone should look at the UI and the main menu on how to improve that. To be honest.
Yeah, that's hard though.
No, it's not hard.
It's hard in a sense to make it all work. And
No, it's
UI design is pretty hard, to be honest.
Well, you can change this. Come on, it's not difficult. It's just weird. You have to go through so many steps to find competitive stopwatch. This quick join competitive match. It's just not so clear in general where you have to go.
Yeah, I think a nice little guide or indicator would be good. Like, okay, you're starting with execution mode. It's then like a small explanation that you're actually like the game mode. When you level up, you're getting more and more complex game modes.
I guess
like that,
things
something
like
that. A
quick
simple
tips or
explanation.
No, it's something.
Exactly.
I mean something like on the main menu. If you have like it says play matchmake and let's see, play execution mode, play stopwatch, or play public. That's simple steps and where people have to go. At the moment, it's really messy. We know where to go, but it's weird. That's why I found it weird that execution mode is not added to the matchmaking system. I don't know why they didn't just include it into the.
I'm really glad about that.
Just make it 5-5 execution mode. Just weird that it's not included there. And just remove
And
the
even
public.
more problematic is that it's now only for level 1. That makes no sense at all, I think. I don't know, it gives a completely wrong idea of the game.
No, it does.
The mercs make no game,
Yeah, but from the point of splash damage it makes sense, because they believe that, like Fluffy just said, that stopwatch is harder to learn than it is to learn the round-based system that everyone knows already from Counter-Strike. So it's easier for noobs to go into that round system because they just go in,
And
take a
Which I
merc
think
and
is
shoot.
true, but
It is true.
it's true.
That
But
is
I
true,
think
yes.
I think then the crossover from rounds to stopwatch, I think that makes that gap bigger by having the game in the game in the first
Yeah,
place. Like people get really good at playing a certain way in
Yep.
execution, and then translating that to getting into stopwatch is gonna feel like a big stomp in the face again.
Well, they're gonna miss a lot of stuff if they switch over to stopwatch because they will forget that they respawn as there's a spawn time.
Shit like
and
waves, times, that's all missing then.
well, yeah, we can. That's something that's in the game now, so we just have to deal with it in some way.
Yeah.
But I really don't think that
They're
execution mode is
definitely
different
gonna
here.
definitely not gonna remove it anymore. I mean, that's a lot of hours they've put in.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't think anyone really minds execution existing that much. Like the more game modes, the better. I mean, more options, but it's too unorganized right now. I think that's the core of the problem. Like
Yeah.
when I reach level 5 in 30 point, why is there not like a massive pop up in my face? Like, why not try stopwatch now? This is the main game mode instead in blah blah blah. Like, it might be a bit harder to learn, but it's also way more rewarding. I don't know.
That is
Slap
exactly
an
what
elite
I mean.
case under there when they play their first stopwatch game.
Well, yeah, and each rank should just give something. Just give each rank something to a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Or-
perfect. That is
or-
really nice.
Or a rare stopwatch skin or whatever you wanna get. I don't know, something to give an achievement at some point. It's the same thing that Heroes of the Storm does. That they reward you constantly across the game. If you level a merc individually, you get a mount, you get a skin for that merc. If you level up in general, you get also a reward. You get a mount or something. It's they keep rewarding you to play competitive and rank up and get more levels. We just need more people to get into matchmaking. I'm actually curious on how many people play matchmaking, what the numbers
Yeah.
are.
Interested in that as well. But
A reasonable way of getting players to give ammo would be to break down support XP. It's not even that. I think certain people just don't know they have an ability to throw ammo.
I wonder if I would have.
They definitely don't. I mean, I played earlier on level 5 servers with a Smurf, and I've come across medics that were trying to use their med packs or their
Yeah.
healing pulses to revive me. Like they just don't know.
It's not a solution
There
unless
is a
to
different
do it.
ability. People apparently are not very good at just looking at the screen and seeing there's a big button for you to press.
Yep. The thing is, you still make the game around the competitive and like the higher like the I don't know how you call it, the high quality players.
I'm thinking like super basic shit. Like
But you want
level 1 to 3, you can't play with other players. It just gives you a map with bots, and it like gives you all these tooltips on the screen. Like, these are your defibs. These you use to revive, and it's just a dead bot on the floor.
you know
Like in the flow of
you
the
know
game, like
how-
a set scenario you walk through.
you know how
Like the tutorials also.
Heroes of
really
the
lacking
Storm
on this
does
game.
it. They actually don't give you all your abilities at the start. They actually,
Yeah,
I've seen that in
more
you
MOBAs,
actually
yeah.
have to unlock your abilities as you level your as you play your hero.
Yeah.
Unless
seen that, yeah.
unless your main account is high level, then suddenly everything is unlocked. Because then they know your
Then you're
experience.
expect to know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would feel very clunky in Dirty Bomb, though.
Yeah, same.
It wouldn't if you
Yeah.
just the thing about it, you can't teach all these noobs, I guess, all these new players to learn. Some are really bad. You can't change that no matter what you do in the game, no matter how you code the game. They're just bad at the game. The only thing you can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
is
yeah.
to
Yeah, the thing
help
is,
them along a bit and then let them play each other. Those people
it's
should
so much more basic than in Heroes, though.
those guys
Like,
should
oh.
never for example match up against us, for example, as good players. They should always play their own kind of rank. There's no way in hell you can create stuff in
Well,
the games
that's one
to
of
help
the
them.
things that one of the things that I've been advocating from the start is that I even think level 7 is way too low for matchmaking, or at least for ranked. Because I've said that from the start as well. Why do we not have an unranked queue? to help people into that matchmaking environment without the heavy side of the ranks mattering.
I think just level 7 would be fine. Same in Counter-Strike. If you just get level 3, you get queued against other silvers. It would be perfect if there were more people
Yeah,
playing the
but
matchmaking game.
that's I think that's 90% a player base issue as well, though.
Well, that's the issue. Yeah, that
Yeah.
too many people are playing public.
Then it would be totally fine with level 7. You would get queued against other level 7s.
Yeah,
That would be nice.
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
That's
that,
player
yeah,
base.
that's yes.
Yes.
It's a player base
yes.
issue.
Yeah,
Because if there were 100,000 players playing matchmaking, then we would never get queued against those people, against silvers and golds.
Yeah.
Because there would be more people in our skill range. That's purely a player base issue.
yeah, and you know it works because it works in Dota, it works in LoL as well. People have the same
Well,
ranking
it
play
works
each
in
other.
Dirty Bomb as well.
Yeah,
The
I
ranking
mean-
thing isn't a problem. Like once those fake elite guys are playing, we all pretty much always get matched against them. Like it actually works in Dirty Bomb just fine as well. It's just not enough players to
think
make it work consistently all the time.
it's just I know it's difficult. I assume they got a lot of stuff to improve on the game.
Remove the server browser would be a good step. Since you're not allowing for community servers anyway, might as well go for it. We don't have community servers.
There are. That's not entirely true. I mean, not in the sense you mean it, but you can actually you can request servers for like your server or your
Yeah,
clan
but that's
or
different. Those are like specific servers,
It's
event
very
servers.
specifics, though,
That's
yeah.
different. Like what I mean is you don't have community public servers. You don't have like essentially everything is tied or already to the quick join button. Like there's no need for a server browser really. You just get rid of that and have everyone like and have that system, have that League of Legends, have that Dota system where everyone just plays matchmaking, be it ranked or unranked.
What would be a more guiding way for people? At least they know where to
But
go.
that's exactly what I've been saying. Like, you can either do that and make it that like public is kind of the same as matchmaking but unranked or set in that sense, or use the server browser and make the gap bigger so that you actually get a clear difference between like they have it in CS where you can have your community servers but they're like completely retarded settings and they're not anywhere near to how competitive is played. Like you could also keep the server browser but make public play. Well, I mean it's probably hard to realize with how the engine works, but if you would make public 10v10 or 12v12 where the difference becomes so big that you clearly can't justify the same rules and stuff anymore, like competitive actually becomes a completely different thing, then why not have a server browser? I mean, if you're going to allow that community public style play, then it's all fine. But that's the problem I think now, where the gap is too small, so you can't justify one or the other anymore because they're so close to each other, but also still different.
If
I don't
some
know. That's
if someone's interested in playing Dirty Bomb, they go to quick join, right? And then they just join a server. What's the difference in just what's the difference between quick join and joining matchmaking? There isn't actually.
no. This is why some people think that it's kind of the same thing. You know, those people in pubs who sometimes complain that there's no balance and like cool matchmaking.
Well, that's what I mean.
Now, if you think about it, the difference between quick join and matchmaking is nothing except for the name, and people
Well,
think.
the only thing that changes is the result. That quick join ends you up in an 8v8 without rules, and matchmaking ends you up in a 5v5 without rules.
Yeah, I already know what people will say. They will say, "Oh my God, it's ranked. I don't want to play this. I'm playing here for fun."
One, two tips and guides regarding the game
No,
modes.
but I think you could actually remove quick join and just force everyone to do matchmaking and then put rewards on every rank. Reward people.
I don't know. That's gonna be a really tough call, though.
Yeah.
It is,
I
but
feel like
you need to guide.
that's the
I
problem
honestly-
because they
I
already
honestly
put themselves in
think-
that situation where they have to make
Yeah.
a change. They have to
You
make
need
a
to
call.
get-
If they're
That's
just
Well,
where
that would be
I
kinda
kind of disagree on
interesting.
that, though. Like, I feel that I would, like, in the sense of Dirty Bomb trying to be that old school feel shooter, because that whole matchmaking thing is really a modern thing. That's like something that's really modern in shooters and MOBAs and shit.
Of course.
Like, I would rather, if it was possible from like performance, because I think that's mainly performance limitations keeping them back. I would rather see them make public play like 12v12 or something like way bigger. Like make the gap
can't-
bigger and then have a community server for that. like browsers for that, and have a community servers for that. And then matchmaking is a completely separate thing in the game.
But you can't balance that. Imagine ET if you had
Well,
12
no,
v 12
you would,
with 10
but then you
panzers
would
each
have to
team.
make it different. Then you would need competitive rule sets, obviously. But that's what I mean, where that's exactly what I mean, where either you make everything feel the same, like you guys are saying, like remove the server browser and
It's the easiest approach and the
feel the
most probably costs the least resources as well,
know.
and probably the easiest. Like it's just logical, really. Like same reason Dota, League, Counter-Strike, they all do it. They all do it for a reason. It just makes perfect sense.
Yeah, obviously.
No,
But that's what I mean, that I kind of feel that the whole old school thing with community servers, I think there is a market for it. That's why I think like it would be better for Dirty Bomb if they do that in that sense, but I don't know.
The more I'm thinking
Like
about it, the more I like the idea.
they would keep their thing, like their thing that they have with the whole we want to be old school FPS in the futures, like what they offer. I think that would be that, but I think they're hit by a performance limitation there anyway. Because I mean, the fact that we've literally heard some of the devs say that the reason why we only have 3 mercs each, instead of having access to like a full limbo, is because of performance issues with the engine. So I doubt having bigger publics would ever happen.
Performance issues are already there if you play 8 on 8.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
The FPS drops like 50 or maybe even more.
That's why you get rid of 8v8 and you don't have to deal with them on server side either.
Well, that's what I mean. They should just quick join into matchmaking, force everyone to do matchmaking, get rewards in.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I like the idea. Even though it's a really tough card and it's probably too late or too much of a change.
It's not too late.
Imagine that, just ranked, unranked.
Oh, they can do that. They can put it unranked for the new guide, but
Just ranked and unranked. 5v5 stopwatch ban. Maybe with the other mods.
you would need a safe system to protect the new guys that they don't get matched against gold some.